So the NRL is about to kill the kickoff. Well, at least that is the report. So there's big rumours in the media at the moment that the NRL is going to be changing the kickoff and essentially abolishing the long kickoff. Not really abolishing it, but just making it so you get punished if you do a long kickoff. It's actually over 20 metres, you get a 7 tackle set. So you are going to be punished if you kick it long. Obviously, it's a risk versus reward thing. Extra tackle, it could be worth it. A little bit of tactics come into play. But I pose the question, have they just killed the kickoff? Now, there was talks about it last year, and I remember just thinking, this is ridiculous. I can't believe we're getting rid of the kickoff. But I think we knew it was coming. There was talk in the media about it, and it's talk in the media again, and they're set to announce it. And usually when it's hitting the media in terms of rule changes, it's probably going to happen. So prepare ourselves, 2025, there will be a lot more short kickoffs. And I feel like this previous year, there was a lot more short kickoffs in general, especially with the short dropouts as well. I guess more teams competing. So I guess they figured, we may as well just chance our arm there. But yeah, there is going to be a little bit of tactics involved. But my problem with this whole situation is that they're doing it under the guise of player protection, player welfare, head knocks and all that sort of stuff. And by that logic, it's again you don't actually get punished for doing a long dropout. It's probably it's less risky. Nothing happens, and essentially it has the same sort of effectiveness as a run from the back fence. And I mean that's a setting in itself. Take it from the back fence, run it from the back fence. So I feel like for the people out there, and there definitely will be some people who are going to be sitting here and saying, "Nah, this won't change anything." It definitely will. It's a very popular thing. It's very... I feel like once it's not there, we'll probably appreciate it a lot more. And like I said, I understand sentiment, CTE, and they don't want to get sued in the future, and they want to protect the players and whatnot. But I can't really recall too many head knocks that are coming from, running from the back fence, running from the kickoff that aren't happening in just everyday normal play anyway. So I understand it's a big impact, big contact, but there's a reason that they play. There's a reason they play NRL. The reason they play rugby league. If they want to do that, they just play Oztag. They play touch footy. So essentially, what I'm saying is, I don't think it really changes too much in terms of head knocks. Anyways, it seems like something that on paper sounds great for the NRL to sort of promote and say we are trying to fix things. You other sports aren't doing anything. Look at us. We're on the front foot. We're going to be changing it. But really, I don't really think they're changing too much. In fact, they're making the game so fast. They're putting players under so much more fatigue. They're playing more games than ever. All this whole thing about player welfare, they do one thing and then they do other things that are counterproductive for that. So yeah, they're not taking hit-ups on the first tackle from the back fence, from a kickoff, charging up players with a run-up. But at the same time, they can still do that from a dropout. And at the same time, there's just so many other things. Players are so fatigued, so they're throwing more swinging arms and things like that just in the regular game. So yeah, it seems very, very counterproductive. And I don't know, it's just, like I've said in the past with the NRL, it's so hard to keep up, year to year. It feels like different game from year to year. And it definitely didn't feel like that back in the day. And when I say back in the day, for me, that's probably early 2000s all the way up to the 2010s. It just feels like every year now there's some major rule change that is big. Whether it's 7 tackle sets, whether it's, changing the rules for the dropout where you don't get penalised if you go short. And I guess that's the whole benefit of, hey, you may as well try and go short because we're not going to penalise you. But at the same time, if you're just trying to kill time, win a game, you kick it long, you're going to get the same result. So yeah, like I said, very counterproductive where they do little bits and pieces. They're kind of half in with player protection, player welfare. I don't really think it benefits the players. I think it definitely takes away from the game. Now, by no means do I think people are going to stop watching over this. I think there'll be a lot of complaints. It'll be like the shoulder charge. There'll be a lot of outrage over, I can't believe they're doing this. And they haven't got rid of it. They've just made it so you will be punished. So you can still do it. So there's going to be a risk versus reward, like I said, same way as you could do a short kickoff in the past and maybe get the ball back, maybe give away a penalty. I guess there's just more things to weigh up for teams, and I'm sure there'll be coaches exploiting it, and you get late into the game going, I don't care, 7 tackle set. Is a 7 tackle set, it happens that often anyways, is that really that big of a deterrent? This is what I mean, where it's kind of counterproductive. You're adding it in, but I don't think it necessarily adds anything. Teams are so conditioned to, defending 7 tackle sets. Do you go for a short kickoff, lose the ball, and you have to defend from the 50-metre line? Or do you just go long? And with all the 6 against anyways, you're probably going to be doing it anyway. So, like I said, I don't think it changes too much, but at the same time, it does change a lot. it probably sounds worse on paper, and it's a little bit of a shock to the system that it seems like they're trying to phase out the kickoff. I mean, the kickoff itself is always going to be there, but just, the way they compete for it. I personally, with the dropouts and all that sort of stuff, I'm not a big fan of it. I've seen some people say they really enjoyed the competing for it, but it just feels wrong for a side to just put in a beauty of a kick and then all of a sudden the other team just, throws up the kick, essentially a bomb, willy-nilly, and they have someone who's really good under the air, and they just go and take it away. Imagine like all these guys like Cooper Cronk. Cooper Cronk would be cruel in this game. Like, his whole thing is, wearing down teams very methodically, even like your Thurstons and such, just tire them down, wear them out, just keep going at them. They do a beauty of a kick and then just lose the ball straight away. So it definitely is a new era of footy, and a lot of teams, Penrith have adapted perfectly. We've seen some teams really struggle. We've seen some teams absolutely thrive off it. But just the whole kickoff thing for me, it isn't it. And as a fan of the video games, I'll do another video on this in itself. It just keeps putting it back. Like, if you're making video games, how you gonna make a new NRL game, a new rugby league game, when you know that the rules are going to be changed drastically within 1 year, and it's probably going to happen, whether it's teams, whether it's massive rule changes. It's got to be super frustrating if they're working on anything, but I guess that's irrelevant to really this video, but it's just something I wanted to throw in there, considering I do a lot of rugby league video games, so just throwing that in there. But yeah, you guys, your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you a fan of this rule change? I mean, I personally am not. I think I made that pretty clear. Like I said, I don't think it really does too much for the players. It probably takes away a lot of the fun parts of the game too for them. I don't think you'll find prop forwards, because usually it's, prop and prop, or, forward on forward, and I don't think they're going, oh my god, I really need to get rid of this kickoff. Like, I don't think it really crosses their mind, and like I said, CTE and stuff's going to happen just from contact in general. Concussions are always just going to happen in general play. I mean, just saw on this past weekend when Australia played, Lindsay Collins got busted open just in a normal tackle by his own teammate, just with a head clash. Like, I feel like that's more likely to just happen. It's just going to happen. You can't take it away. And I feel like the NRL is going to do whatever they can. I feel like they've kind of got it in a sweet spot now where they're kind of getting the most viewers they've ever had. So I guess it is working, and they're making changes that I don't necessarily agree with, but I guess it's not throwing people off. Now, I know a lot of people who have turned off of the NRL and, just rugby league in general over the past few years, but the numbers sort of say otherwise. So I guess in a way it's, it's not hurting the game, despite me sort of not agreeing. We're all still watching it, so I guess they can sort of do what they want. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on this little rule change. I've only heard about it. It hasn't gone through, but expect it to probably go through. Oh, and just one more thing I just want to add on. If they're going to be changing the rule and trying to discourage this sort of stuff, I really hope they don't use it in all the promotional footage for everything, and, hyping up State of Origin. They show the big hits that are from the kickoff. Because, again, you're trying to get rid of it. Don't promote it and then get rid of it. It's the same way as they got rid of the shoulder charge, but then they were showing us some of the most, iconic footage was, Sonny Bill doing a big shoulder charge, or, sort of plays like that. They were clear shoulder charges, but the same ones that are using in all the advertisements. Also, do we think there's going to be, a gentleman's agreement for State of Origin where it's kind of just don't go the short one, go long, at least for the, the first set of the first half and the first set of the second half, and just get that big collision just to get the game hyped. I think there might be. Anyways, we got done talking about the actual rule change in itself. Tomorrow's video will be me talking about the rule change and why it affects the rugby league video games. Well, that's the end of this video. If you happen to enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. You know the drill at this point. Everybody YouTuber says it. Just go ahead and do it. It'd really help me out. Also, why not go ahead and check out some of these other videos that are on the screen right now.